Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show, and welcome to a very special Top 5. I'm about to share something with you guys that's very personal to me. A while ago, I released a video commentary about how video games are dreams come true, and I shared how some of these video games that I talked about, like Titanfall and Dragon Commander, were dreams come true for me, and I asked you guys in that video to tell me what your dream games were. Now, I told you about games that were dreams come true for me. But what are my dream games? What are games that I have built up? What are games I have built up in my head? Personal video games I have created in my mind that I would love to see come to life or help make in some way. These are my dream games. These are the games I dream about, but I would love to see made. These are the games I would be ecstatic about. These are games that I personally created in my head, and I wish I had the ability to put them on screen, on a disc, in an actual game. I really wish I could. These are my top 5 dream video games, my imaginary video games. These are the games I would want to make or have made. So, no more delaying. This is my top 5 dream games.
In that moment, I glimpsed what a free mind can accomplish. What this world has turned its back on. I was on a ride no one else had taken, and in that moment, I was at the feet of a god.
Number 5, a giant monster fighting game. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Giant monster fighting games have been done before. Like, look at Godzilla. Godzilla has a ton of fighting games. And on Steam, there's this new kaiju battle fighting game that's coming out that's free to play. And look at Ultraman. Ultraman has a bunch of Japanese monster fighting games. What are you talking about? I'm talking about a giant monster fighting game with the graphical fidelity and graphical productions of Destiny, of Crytek and their Crysis games, of Naughty Dog and whatever freaking amazing video game engine they use for their games. I'm talking about a giant monster fighting game that has so much detail. It's absolutely beautiful, where the buildings and environments the monsters fight in are dynamic and destructible. Where they walk, items, buildings shatter and break realistically. I want amazing, well-done lighting. I want the monsters to have giant shadows that emanate from them. I want to see the slightest, tiniest details on the monsters. The skin, the fur, the freckles, eyes, teeth. I want to see the smallest details on these giant monsters. I want to have dynamic environments and just beautiful, beautiful, well-detailed graphics. That is the giant monster fighting game I want. And I'm still waiting for it. Come on, we love giant monsters, and we love seeing giant monsters fight. Wouldn't it be awesome to see giant monsters fight with the prettiest graphics ever, eh?
And in that moment, I was at the feet of a god.
Number 4, Angel vs. Demon, Secret War. This is a game idea I think about often. A multiplayer game, or of course single player, where you get to play as bots. If I were making video games, there would always be bots. Every multiplayer ever would have the option for bots, but that's besides the point. My dream game for this Demon vs. Angel Secret War game that I thought of would be that there would be 2 teams, an angel team and a demon team. They would have 2 forms, their true angel form to true demon form, and a human form, a human disguise. And both teams would walk around a map. They would explore a map, a small open world map. It's not too big, but not too small, with a bunch of human NPCs walking around. And the thing would be, the angels and demons would have to try and kill each other secretly. They could only do it in their true form, so they would have to hunt down each other, determine who's really an angel, who's really a demon from their human forms, find a secret location to fight in so that humans don't see you, because if humans see angels and demons fighting, well, then you're compromised, and the world knows that that angels and demons exist, and both teams would lose. So the teams would have to coordinate, work together to try and figure out who's on each team out of these, let's say, hundreds of civilians that are walking around. How do you determine what's an NPC and what's a player? And at the meantime, the demon team would have a specific bonus objective. The demons would have to try and corrupt people and make people evil. And this is how the angels would try and look for the demons. They would look for the humans that the demon team are corrupting, try and purify them, and follow a trail back to the demons. However, most importantly, the angel team and the demon team, like the angel and demon final forms, their true forms, they would have extensive customization, and you would only be able to keep customizing your angel and demon with cool wings and horns and helmets and swords and claws and gauntlets and capes and robes. You would be able to keep customizing them. Like, you would have huge amount of customization options for your angels and demons, but you would keep unlocking this stuff by playing the game. The more angels and demons you kill, the more equipment and cool-looking gear you would lock for your angel or unlock for your angel or demon. That just sounds like the perfect multiplayer game, or perfect game to showcase intelligent bot AI. Oh, I would love an angel versus demon secret war video game. God, that right there is a great dream game. Just gameplay-wise, mind you.
And in that moment, I was at the feet of a god.
Number 3, Super Tech Spy. After playing games like Deus Ex, Human Revolution, Blacklight Retribution, Titanfall, Remember Me, Mass Effect, after playing all these sci-fi games, I'm a big fan of sci-fi. After playing all these sci-fi games, I can't help but imagine a video game where you play as a badass super tech spy. You never see his face. I told you guys how much I love faceless characters. You'd have this badass almost motorcycle helmet-like helmet that like completely covers your face with this giant black screen. You'd have an option of leather coats like from Watch Dogs. Your character would have to have this faceless black mask and an awesome leather coat that you could customize with different colors. But the leather coat and the mask is just for design in my crazy head, like how I would design the tech spy. You would have this awesome leather jacket and this faceless cool mask. But the main focus of the game, which you would have an simply extensive amount of tech powers. Your secret tech spy, your super tech agent would be sent into an environment to eliminate a bunch of hostiles or terrorists or a rival corporation of something like that. You would be sent in, and like the Crysis games, you would have complete total control and customization of how you want to handle the situation. You would have the ability to cloak, to hack, to become super strong, to be super speedy. You would have a huge amount of devices to choose from trip mines, and cameras, and little robot bugs, and electro fists, and smart pistol-like guns that auto-aim. You would have high-tech ninja swords that slice enemies and kill them in one hit. It just, the imagination, the amount of science. Imagine all science fiction technology and equipment and weaponry all into one guy, and you wouldn't have to use RPG elements and pick and choose. You would have all of these from the get-go, and there would be so much replayability with all this equipment and tech and customization for combat. Levels would be super replayable. You could replay levels over and over and over again, trying different technology, trying a different style, being stealthy, being speedy, just hacking your way through, or being cool action hero. I could just imagine this super tech spy game. It would be so much fun, so much replayability, and just playing around with science fiction technology. God, someone make this game!
And in that moment, I was at the feet of a god.
Number 2, kick-ass over-the-top, cheesy, lesbian first-person shooter. I'm talking about the ultimate first-person shooter. The ultimate first-person shooter that doesn't take itself seriously. The story has a bunch of references and jokes and Easter eggs to popular culture, to movies and video games. The characters, enemy, gameplay mechanics, HUD, and text, it's constantly breaking the fourth wall. You would have the most over-the-top and silly, ridiculous weapons. They're ridiculously big for no reason. For some reason, the enemies always explode when you shoot them, whether it be in a fiery explosion or an explosion of blood and guts. The game would be the most immature. It would be the most immature game of all time. It's so over the top, so immature. There would be sex scenes, lesbian sex scenes, just for the hell of it. There would be over-the-top one-liners and needless explosions happening everywhere. The bad guy, the main bad guy, would literally be a giant. He would be a skeleton. He would be the devil. He would have a skeleton face, horns. His head would be on fire like Ghost Rider, and he would have a Cockney accent. He would talk with a British Cockney accent and sound like the biggest douche ever. You would have badass executions, like when an enemy is down, you could do this over-the-top, ridiculous, gory execution on an enemy. I'm talking about, this first-person shooter would be full of cheesy jokes, explosions, lesbians, it would be the ultimate fan fiction, fan theory, immature first-person shooter ever. It would be the most ridiculous, immature thing ever, and people would love it. It would be the game that you would have to smile at. Even if you hate schlocky, immature stuff, you'd have to smile at it. It's so ridiculous and fun, this first-person shooter. God, someone needs to make this game. And before I reveal to you my number one dream game, the game I would love to make, I would love to see made, I would give anything to have this game made, whether it be behind me or someone else. Before I do that, here's a quick little recap of my last 4 dream games. Number 5, giant monster fighting game with absolutely beautiful visuals and graphics. Number 4, Angels vs. Demons Secret War, a dynamic multiplayer, with angels and demons hiding amongst humans while trying to find each other and kill each other secretly, with a ton of customization for both angel and demon characters. Number 3, a Super Tech Spy, a super empowering game that gives you complete customization and a ton of replayability, where you play as this cool Super Tech Spy with this faceless glass face mask that's completely black and an awesome looking leather jacket. It's a game where you get to use every single sci-fi weapon and tech imaginable. Number 2, kick-ass lesbian FPS, the most over-the-top, ridiculous, immature, sexual, raunchy, slockish first-person shooter around, but it's so entertaining, so fun, so crazy, so full of one-liners and explosions and blood and gore and violence and clever jokes and stupid jokes. It would be in a game that's impossible not to have fun with. And finally, my number 1 dream video game, the game I never stop thinking about. This is the game I want to have made. I would make it if I had the resources, or I would go 100% with anybody else making this game. This is the video game that I would be the most excited for ever if I found out it was being made. My number 1 dream game is Dragon Hunter. Imagine a video game where its sole goal, its only enemy, was dragons. And not tiny like little baby minion dragons. I'm talking about full-fledged, big-ass, fully grown dragons. In this game, you played as a dragon hunter. You specifically hunted down, captured, or killed dragons. The game would have well over 20, hell, well over 30 different dragon types, different dragon species to hunt. Each type of dragon completely unique and different from the rest. Your Dragon Hunter would be completely customizable. Nothing would be locked off. You wouldn't have to go to stores and buy anything. You wouldn't have to grind or level up or anything like that. You would have every single piece of gear, every single piece of armor, clothing, every single weapon available to you at the get-go. But the main drive of the game, the main focus with all this armor and gear, is to choose which armor, which weapons would be best for hunting down and fighting each type of dragon. There would be dragons that live in volcanic environments and swim in lava. There would be dragons that live in icy mountains and breathe ice breath. There would be dragons that live in swamp and look like giant snakes and breathe toxic breath or acid. There would be massive, titanic dragons just as big as the Colossus found in Shadow of the Colossus. And there would be hundreds, simply hundreds of ways to take down a dragon. Of course, you could climb the dragon, stab it with your sword. You could get a catapult, launch yourself at the dragon, or launch nets at the dragon to try and capture it from the air. You could have grappling hooks and shoot them at the dragon and try to bring it down to the ground if it's flying in the air. You could have spears, axes, try to cut off the wings, try to cut off its legs. You would have giant cages or giant, what the hell do you call those? Mouth guards to try and trap the dragon's mouth, to try and close its mouth shut so that you could stop it from breathing fire or biting. And not just that, the dragons would have to be 100% extremely realistically animated. I'm talking about you see the skin move realistically, the scales, you see the body fat and the way the dragon moves, you see its body and its fat, its weight move with it. You would see that the skin and the saliva, you would see realistic, simply realistic, breathtaking movement from these dragons. They would look and feel like real creatures. That would be the main drive of the game, that the dragons would look and feel realistic, with wonderful graphical detail and animation. Your Dragon Hunter would be completely customizable, and there'd be a million different ways to take down each different dragon type, and God, I want this game. This is my dream game, Dragon Hunter. I wish this game... If this game is ever made, or a game similar to my dream is ever being made, I can guarantee you I will be more excited for this than I will ever be for any video game ever. Dragon Hunter is my dream game. I really hope this game is somehow made. So, Dragon Hunter, my dream game.